Hello everybody, welcome back to Fox's Best Laid Plans, the planner channel that doesn't think she's any good at manifesting and yet has somehow managed to manifest Friday planning as a thing. Hi everybody, hello. We used to hashtag we plan on Wednesdays, but now, I don't know, this is like the third week in a row that I'm not getting to this until Friday. I'm just feeling a little bit, but I'm doing my best. We're gonna get through it. Hello, welcome back to my channel, everybody. My name is Fox. I do planner things, I do travel things. I show pictures of my dog, who's the most adorable thing in the world. And today we're gonna do a plan with me. So this was last week's spread. I ended up using, if you remember, two different kits. So the first one was this main one with the flamingos, and then it didn't have, I think it was a mini kit, so it didn't have a ton of stickers, so I ended up using supplemental stickers from the week before's kit, which was this tropical one here. So I think they worked okay. I mean, if you know that I use two different kits, you can kind of be like, oh yeah, there's a couple things. But I think I was consistent enough with, like, the main kit had pink in it, so like using these pink stickers, this one and this one and this one, that was fine. It was sneaking in these little yellow ones, but I think I like spaced them out evenly enough that it looked kind of like it's meant to be that way. I don't know. Let's move on. We're planning the week of Monday, July 22nd through Sunday, July 28th. This is my Moxie Life flagship planner. It's really hard to turn the pages, and we still have 5 more full months. 5 more months? 4 more months. August, September, October, November, December. 5 months. We still have 5 more months to fit into this planner, so it's gonna be, I don't know, we'll see. So I was debating, I was going back and forth because the Olympics start tonight, and I love the Olympics. If you know me, you know I've been obsessed with the Olympics since I was a little kid. And I wanted to do an Olympics kit, and the only one that I could find that I really liked, it was cute, but it was like red, white, and blue. And I was like, I just don't feel like doing red, white, and blue. And I had done that red, white, and blue week for the beginning of the first week of July. Where the heck is that? This one here. Which is cute, but I was just like, oh, I don't feel like doing that again. So I was going to do the Olympics kit, but I couldn't find one that I really liked. So I decided to go with generic summertime vibes, which is like tropical, watermelon, popsicle, you know, good stuff here. So this is what we're doing. My God, if my phone goes off one more time, Jesus H. Today, that has been the theme of the day. My phone has been just going off nonstop. Every time I sit down and try to focus, someone's like, excuse me, and I'm like, ah. So I'm trying to do my best here. All right, so we're gonna use, this is that Simply Gilded. It's the same stuff I used last week. It just happens to perfectly match this week, like even better than it matched last week. So we're gonna do that along the bottom, I guess. Or should I do that along the top since I did it along the bottom last time? Ooh. Okay, let's do it on the top. I was gonna do it on the bottom. Now I've thrown off my entire vibe here, my entire rhythm, because I always do the bottom first. Well, whatever, everybody. We're planning on a Friday for the week that's already like mostly past us. It's just, I'm doing okay. I'm hanging in there. The other one, I don't know where the heck this came from, but it's got cute little watermelons. That's our bottom here. 2 weeks from today, we will be on our trip. So it is getting into the crunch time, and I'm trying to get the details ironed out, and it's just, sometimes it's just hard. So one of the things that's hard, we are trying to plan, we're going to be starting in Cleveland. The first night we're going to Cleveland. There's a national park site just outside of Cleveland that has a park ranger program, so we'll be going there for the dogs. And we're trying to see the Guardians, which, if you've never been to Cleveland, they have a bridge, it's called the Hope Memorial Bridge, and they have these Art Deco statues on either end, and I mean, they're towering and they're huge and they're so cool and spooky, and they're called the Guardians. The Guardians of Traffic, I think, is their like official name, or that's either their full name or that's what everybody called them when they were made, but they do have like cars and like elements of traffic and driving on them. So we're trying to see those. So I have seen them before driving over the bridge, because we drove over the bridge. I made husband drive like back and forth over the bridge like 4 times in the middle of the night. The one time we stayed in Cleveland, because I was like, these are so cool. Can we go back and see them again, please? You know me. If it's something weird, they're like the unofficial cryptids of Cleveland. So my mom was like, we got to see them. And then my friend Monica, who I love very dearly and haven't seen in so long because she had to move to Cleveland from Pittsburgh, she was like, I love the Guardians. And that was actually like when she first moved there, that was the first thing that she bought like an art piece of the Guardians for her house. So she was like, oh my God. We had like talked to her about going to get coffee together. And then I was like, and my mom really wants to see the Guardians. And she's like, I'll go see them with you. So it's going to be a family affair, but I'm trying to find like where we can park. Everybody says to park at this one market and then walk over, which would be fine if it was just me and Monica, but my mom can't walk like super far, and it says it's like a mile. So it would be a mile each direction. And then that's like a 2-mile walk. I don't think that that's going to be great for my mom. I mean, she can do that if that's like the main thing that we're doing, but that's going to be like the beginning of the day before we even get on the road, and then we're going to be in the car for like 9 hours. So I'm trying to find like, okay, where can we park that we can walk to it? And it is impossible information to find out. And probably I should just text Monica and be like, do you know? Because she might know, but I didn't want to bother her at work. So I was trying to sort it out. I was like, how hard can this be? I'm like on Reddit, I'm on MapQuest, not MapQuest, Map My Run. Lord, if I went back to MapQuest, we would know it was like a serious situation. But anyway, trying to find that information took me so much longer than I thought it would. So I'm just on that stage of the game. So when we do these big road trips, this will be our 3rd year of doing this kind of road trip. And what I do is like I map out each day and I make an itinerary and I pick stops along the way. Depending on the day and how much we're driving and how we're feeling, we don't always get to all the stops that I pick, but it's nice to have things to choose from. So, but I make this very detailed, like how many miles, how, like, you know, if all conditions are great, how many minutes. So I was trying to work on that. And then I'm like, oh God, what time are we going to leave? I'm an early bird, so I'll be like, let's get on the road early as long as I get to bed early the night before. I did not leave as early out of Cleveland the last time that I wanted to because we didn't even get into Cleveland until 10:30. So by the time I went to bed, it was like 1 a.m., I think. But this time we'll be getting there like much earlier. Like we should be getting to the national park site by like 2:30 or 3. Hopefully, if all things go, if everything on my plan works. But that is the problem. Nothing on my plan ever works. I mean, I can't say nothing, but oftentimes things just don't do that. So we're trying our best, you know, and that's all we can do. So I think I have the whole plan for the first day mapped out, and then I was starting on the second day, which will be Cleveland to Madison, Wisconsin. So basically, we're taking the same route that I took when I went to Fargo, because it was like really decent drive. The only part that was bad was the drive from Cleveland to, it was like just a couple different things. From Cleveland to Madison on the second day, there was terrible weather in the morning leaving Cleveland, so that slowed me down some. But then when I got to the area around Chicago, it was just a hot mess. And the traffic was so bad. There was construction and like everything set me back, and it was just not great. So I'm trying to avoid that area. So that's what I was working on just now, is the stretch from Cleveland to Madison, avoiding Chicago. So on the Dave Matthews, one of our, I forget which group it was, maybe Deer Creek, people were talking about going from, I'm gonna do this on the top here, from Indianapolis to Alpine Valley, which is in Wisconsin. And someone recommended this like 74 to 39 instead of going 90 and 94, which go through Chicago, which is like the fastest if there's no traffic. But as my experience of driving past Chicago is that it's like the Fort Pitt tunnels in Pittsburgh, which is to say that there's never a time. I mean, maybe theoretically there is a time where there's not traffic, but I've never seen it. You know, any time of day there could be random traffic. So I'm trying to avoid that. So I'm following what these people said. So we're going to go through like the old Route 66. We're going to take 80. 74 is what they recommended, 74 to 39. And 74 is like south of where we're going to be. So 80 is is in between 94 and 74. So we're going to take 80 into Joliet, which we did in 2022, and stop at that ice cream place. But then I found a couple other things, one of which, when we come up 39, is home of the Rockford Peaches, which is the baseball team, the women's baseball team in a league of their own. So I was like, we can stop there. That'll be really cool. So, you know, gotta have things to look forward to. I try to make stops like every 90 minutes to 2 hours if we can, just so that we can get out. Like, if, oh no, that's really crooked. If we need, you know, we can get out and walk around or get a snack or use the bathroom, or the dogs need to get out. Like, that's the important stuff, is to have breaks built in. I don't mind stopping whenever. Once husband takes over driving when he gets to Fargo, it could be a little different, because I think he gets a little like, babe, did we really need to see this giant fish on the side of the road? And like, if you know, you know. You can never bypass the giant fish on the side of the road. I mean, it's always a good idea to stop and see the giant fish. It's just what it is. So, I have a little picture of a dog here. I put that for yesterday morning because I walked dogs. That's cute. But then I was like, I also had to go to the vet and pick stuff up for Layla, so I could have used it in either place. I thought this one had work. Am I missing it somewhere? This kit, by the way, is from Planello. I didn't say that. I use their kits a lot. I thought this one had... I only need 2 days of work, so I can use whatever. I'm not going to be on here too long today because Sarah's coffee chat starts at 4, and I am going to try to do that. It's been also a rough week. If you have been following at all the national news, so Jasper National Park, which is in Alberta, Canada, had a wildfire, and it's very bad. It's, as of the latest thing that I just saw like an hour ago, it is not as bad as we thought it was on Tuesday night, when we thought it was going to be a total loss to the whole town. It looks like they have 30% loss of structures, which is like, I know that's crazy to say, that's much better than we thought, but like they were saying like 100% loss because of the way that the fire came into town so abruptly. But it's looking like not quite as severe, so I'm hoping that people will be able to get back to their homes faster than they anticipated. Basically, a wildfire came in, and it just, all the conditions were right to make it terrible, basically. And so they had to evacuate everybody very, very short notice and very, very short time frame. At 10 o'clock, they announced, 10 p.m. on Monday, they announced total evacuation. Then you had to be out by 3 a.m. So they had a 5-hour window to completely evacuate. And then it was like longer because people there was only one road out of town. The other roads were closed due to the fire, and it was just very, very scary. But the amazing thing is somehow they got everybody out so fast that by the time the fire actually reached the town later that night, so everybody was out by 3, and then the fire got to town, I want to say at like 7 o'clock that night. So like, whatever, 16 hours later, that's when it hit town, and nobody was hurt. There were no casualties, no deaths or injuries from what they've said so far, which is like astounding for something moving that freaking fast. So I have just been like glued to the news, like watching this in horror, because people keep updating, and then people are posting videos from like friends who were firefighters, and then the news, and like, I don't know, I've just been like, we are supposed to go there in the middle of our trip, and I'm waiting for information from our hotel to see what they're doing about like cancellations and everything, and then we'll have to come up with our new plan. So I'm just kind of like waiting to see what happens. I don't think that it will be reopened, and I have seen 2 different things. I have seen locals on social media and Reddit and things saying like, please, if it does reopen, don't come here because we need time to rebuild. And then I've seen locals who are saying like, if it's reopened and you already have reservations, please come here, because they make all of their revenue for the entire year basically in a 4-month period, because that's when it's accessible because of snow. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just so relieved to see that like the firefighters were able to protect so much of the town despite what happened. Like, I don't know. And then it gets you thinking, it gets you going down this rabbit hole of like, this could happen to any of my beloved places, like any of my beloved Californian places. I mean, we were supposed to go to Sequoia in 2021, and we had to miss it because of the K&P complex fire. And that just like, same thing. It was like we flew into California on Thursday night, down in further south in, well, I guess not south so much as west on Central Coast. And a lightning storm came through, started a forest fire that night, and we were supposed to go to Sequoia on Monday. And by Monday, it was just, the smoke was so bad that our Airbnb canceled because you couldn't be outside. And yeah, that was very scary. And they got that under control like remarkably fast for a wildfire in September in California. So anyway, I'm rambling, sorry. Just kind of makes you like think. It's like all my favorite places, like, oh my God, Big Sur. Like, Big Sur has been, how many times there's been fire drama there. And I love Big Sur. And we've actually never gone to the Redwoods part of Big Sur because the times that we have tried, there's been fire damage. So just very scary. It's been a very, very dry summer for everybody, I think. And especially up in Canada, they've had very dry, and this is like Western and Midwestern Canada. So this is Alberta is where we're talking about. And it's like, okay, Canadians, I hope I get this right. BC is on the west coast, then Alberta, then Saskatchewan, then Ontario, and then Quebec. Am I right? And then Nova Scotia, right? Did I get this correct? I think they go like this, kind of, right? Okay, anyway, Alberta's directly like above Montana and Idaho. So we're coming from Glacier and going up into Canada. So then there's been all this drama with getting the dogs their passports, and then like we did all this work and all these things that the CDC said we had to do. And like 3 days ago, they were like, just kidding. You don't have to do any of that. We changed our minds. And I'm like, but you know, if we hadn't done all that stuff and gotten the paperwork processed and gotten their microchips touched up and gotten all this, Layla had to get a second microchip because her original one didn't have the like the newer version of the software on it or something. If we hadn't done all those things, they would still have been enforcing this. But since we did all those things, they're like, just kidding. You don't have to. That is how my life goes, my friends. The amount of time wasted on things that I ended up not having to do, but I was told that I had to do it. It's a lot. I say 7 to 9, but I was there until 10:30. It's been a week. We were like short one walker to begin with. And then, this was a bad night. I had a very bad night on Wednesday. We were short one walker to begin with at the shelter yesterday. And then we had 2 people no-show. And then somebody was sick. And it was just like, there were 19 walkable dogs and 6 like puppies that you don't walk, but you cuddle and you know, interact and spend time with them. And there were 6 puppies and 19 walkable dogs. And there were 3 of us. So we were there. I was there until like almost 10:30. So it was quite a day. All right. Then I came home. I did some stuff. I'm not going to fill out. Like I said, this is going to be very short this week because I have to, I want to get on to Sarah's call. I don't want to miss it because I'm very, very rarely actually home and available to go on her coffee chats. And this will be the only one I'm able to do until the end of August. Oh, it has until September. Because we're leaving the first week of August, yeah. So, this on here. We might go dancing tonight. We haven't decided. I have a lot of stuff up in the air. I have a lot of like moving parts in my life right now that I'm like, the kind of thing where you're like, you want to make a decision, but you need to have a decision about this other thing first before you can make that decision. And like, some of these decisions are relying on other people to, you know, come back with a response. And I don't know, it's not going so great for me. This is outside of my comfort zone. So, but tonight is our Olympics opening ceremony bingo, which is so fun. I'm not gonna be able to fit this. Oh, maybe I will. So my friend Sion hosts this every Olympics, and he did one for the coronation in England, but I was away and I couldn't do them. But he does, what time is it? We're going over there at like 6 p.m. I don't need to write that on there. He said, come anytime after 5. And I was like, oh, I have so much to do today. I'll try my best. But he makes these bingo cards, and then we watch the Olympics opening ceremonies and commentate with each other and have drinks and snacks and just fun. And it's going to be people that I haven't seen in so long, and I'm so excited to see them. So I'm very excited about that. That'll be fun. he said, come anytime after 5. I told him we're probably going to get there like 6 or 6:30, and then I think it starts at 7:30. So we'll have some time to hang out, pick our bingo cards, get a couple drinks in us, and then get ready. So then we might go dancing after, but I feel like I'm going to be too tired after the end of this because I really had a rough night of sleep due to stress from work, stress from like everything that's going on and my overwhelmed feelings and worrying about the fire and like being basically from like Monday night until like yesterday afternoon, I was like glued to my phone about this. Like, so tomorrow is my long run. I'm going to put a sticker down for it, but I'm not going to write in it yet because I haven't decided what I'm doing with that. That's another thing. I have 13 miles tomorrow. That part I know, but I am either going to meet 2 of my friends who are starting early at 6:30, or I'm going to run with the group at 7:30. I don't know. And then we have contractors coming to the house at 1 because we're getting estimates on our bathroom remodel. It's not the time that we're going to start the bathroom remodel, but I need to know like an estimate of what I'm looking at so I can start saving money for it. So we're having 2 companies come and give us estimates, and then we can like start to plan from there. Sunday, I have dance class. I can put a sticker in for that. I feel like I'm like missing. I'm not though, but I'm just using up all my big stickers right away. But that's okay because you know what? These are big things. I'll probably do some stuff in the morning, so I won't put it first thing, but I'll put it here. Okay. Eddie is teaching his voguing and whacking class again. What does he call it? Oh gosh. Is it called Vogue? No. Oh, it's called GEAUX. Like go. Like you go, girl. And that's at 10 a.m. I can't read this on this. So that, and then I have a short shakeout run on Sunday after my long run tomorrow. So that's where I'm going to put stuff. That's where I'm going to leave it right now because at least I got this down. And this is like, I was just editing a video because I'm so far behind on my videos, and I was just editing another video where I was doing the same thing that I was like, man, I was actually planning on Saturday, like evening after work. And I'm like, oh my God. But you know what? I feel better having done it than I would have skipping it. Like, yes, it would be ideal to do it on Monday morning. That would be the best. Do it on Monday morning. The whole week is ready to go. I can check in with it every day, be really organized and on top of it. But if that doesn't work, whenever I can do it is good. That is enough. And I'm trying to remind myself of that. It was really like probably good to have watched this video right before, or been editing this video and watching it right before I did this, because it's like, okay, that's right. I feel better. And I do feel better. I feel better having this down. I have a little bit more to finish up on it, and I'll work on that this weekend, and then I'll show you next week where it goes. You always see the end of it. I always add stuff after the fact anyway, so even if I do plan it earlier and put more things down, you still see more by the end of it. So thank you all so much for watching. Please subscribe if you are new here, and as always, my friends, take care of yourselves and take care of each other, and I will see you in my next video.